welcome everybody. I'd like to thank David and Alice Berger for inviting us into their beautiful home. Thank you again. It's beautiful. So we're going to get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Allie is going to...
Thank you. If you'd like to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, there is a flag on the coffee table. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks again for everybody being here tonight. My name is Spiro Iraklianos. I'm John's campaign manager. And we kind of have a funny story when we first met. It was about 6 years ago when Penny Bigelow got me going through this thing. She introduced me to John. I went to this Donato's down on the south side, kind of dressed like this, and never been involved in anything like this before. And I walk in there and everybody's kind of looking at me like, who's this guy? Never saw me before. And I just introduced myself and I said, hey, I'm Spiro, and I'm here to learn, I'm here to help, and haven't been able to separate from these guys for the last 6 years. We ran several campaigns together, mayor, state rep, Lisa ran for city county council. We've been fighting the good fight. I mean, here we are today, running for Congress. I've been with John, I've been with Lisa because they're genuine people. Right? They serve where they live, they've got a heart to help people. John wants to help the community, he's out there fighting for the underserved people. And I know that when he does get into Congress and he has some influence, he's going to do something good. And so I'm here to support him. I thank you for being here to support him. So with that, here's John Schmitz.
I know Mike's coming out of being out there, and I'm trying to go out there. So we're going to have an interesting interview here in a minute to talk about that. I do want to thank Josh because Josh is a friend of mine that decided, just about like Spiro, I want to get involved in this thing. I said, well, what's up? The reason I'm running is for all the people in this room. And then when we beat Andre Carson, I'll be able to reflect on this and say it was all because of you. I think this is a formula for an upset. And you think of the magnitude of this upset. This is going to be, when you look up on Ballotpedia, you see hell freezing over and Andre losing. And that happening first. So we would be on the map automatically with a win. So why not take a risk and get out there and be bold? And come on up here. We do an interview style. Let's see if you can do as great Pence. This is the house.
Oh, I'm shaking in my boots.
So, tell our folks a little bit about what's going on with you.
So, when I had that crazy idea 7 years ago, in August of 17, that someone like what you're doing, you're taking on nearly the impossible, but it can happen. And I'll tell you how, cutting to the chase, that first conversation I had with my wife was, dear, where are you at in the polls? I said, we're rounding up to 1%. But it was based on, I'm taking on 2 congressmen and eventually got to take out a sitting senator. So most people thought you were crazy and didn't have your head examined. But if you don't take the first step, you never know whether it can happen. And there was no one that was out there beyond polite consideration from family and close network of friends that thought it was nothing more than a fool's errand. So that's where I started.
Exactly, Mike. One of the things that the reason to do this is because I hear so many Republicans go in. We have 10 county council seats unfilled, no opponents. And folks are going, I didn't have anybody to vote for. It's like, I'm not giving up. Me and my wife live in Mars Hill. I've seen what this mayor's done for the city. I've seen what the Democrats have done to this city, and it's time for them to go. You know, I've been going to some churches and just about every sermon or every Bible study, I went to one last night, that they talk about service. And, you know, I'd see you, Mike, and I see somebody that you could be doing a lot of different things. But you want to come back and you want to serve this state. And I'm just going to be bold and say, I remember this guy named Mitch Daniels. And I see a guy here that's going to make Mitch Daniels look like a kindergartner. Dude, I got high hopes for you to do that. I'm tired of hearing his name being the only guy that's successfully done this. I saw that you got a new health care thing out that, you know, it's coming out, and you're going to tackle all the property taxes. I'm just excited for the future of art.
We're going to be an entrepreneurial conservative and make sure we never lose our values.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
That's a lot of common sense that'll never work. But what I read in there was, the question was, it was a story about Andre Carson, so you just never really have seen him out there.
He is,
That's what I'm looking for, anyway.
he is the example of what, if you don't press to make the difference, make the case, they get by.
Yeah.
Because they become the default. And Andre Carson is a guy that most people, unless you're from here, I don't know what piece of legislation he's been on, he's living the dream. And every 2 years he loves it because he gets a bigger pension.
That's it.
You know, so,
Yeah, well, and that's, you know, one of the things that stepping up and stepping out, I've never really been shy about that. You know, one of my talks is that I'm a Republican and I go where Republicans don't go here in the city. And you're not going to get this done unless you do that.
in your district for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You have got to go to places where the dogs are gonna be barking.
Yeah. So if anybody has a question that, okay, well, let's.
I realize tonight, or today, and we're almost done with tonight, is 40 days out.
Yeah.
And as a Christian and a Catholic, which we are Christians, 40 is such a significant number. But we should really take heart, and I want to know from both you gentlemen individually, we all come to these things, sometimes you see the same people a lot. But I want to know from each of you, and I would have asked you this privately, but I can.
Oh, we're all friends.
What do you two gentlemen need, like 2 to 3 things you really need from us in the next 40 days? That maybe other people think that have been done, think are being done, but you guys really know what you need in the next 40 days.
Let me start. So, let me tell you what happened when they got rid of Biden. So, that was back in July, and of course their convention was about a month later. I told Maureen, my wife, just by listening to the national news, and when you're so much a part of it in terms of the media, you see any subtlety. I said he's gone within a week. It was 3 days. And that's because folks like Nora O'Donnell, you know, the mainstream media started spinning it in a way that you could tell they were cutting bait. So, what happened across the country after their DNC, their convention, is it was like levitation. So, Trump was going to win, maybe not in a landslide, but was going to win with ease. And all the down ballot races were going to be easy. But remember, they own the game of politics. If you want to understand Dems, there where you're wanting to go, they worship that place. It's their growth business and their cathedral all wrapped into one. And it would be with the same enthusiasm that any of us might be about raising our family, want to, you know, drive good values, build a business. But their business happens to be government. They knew they were into a train wreck in November. So what it did is it took Trump, for instance, in Indiana from 14, not down to 7, but they levitated up 5 to 7. So that was scary. That was similar to what happened with Obama.
Those are our pollster numbers?
Those are general numbers that I'm going to know about what they are because those are internals and the things that we have to pay attention to. So, they've had a heavy burden lifted from their shoulders, but now they're trying to put someone like Kamala Harris there like she has no history, that she's not part of Biden-Harris, that she's not, the funniest thing I saw was when Bernie Sanders was asked, I don't know if any of you saw it, it was on CNN.
That's awesome.
They asked him, and Bernie's got all his marbles at 81. Yeah, he's still sharp. And he knew exactly how to answer it. Is she as liberal as you are, Bernie? And he smiled and then said the right, oh no, not that liberal. And of course she is. So she and this Tim Walz, who's one of the most liberal governors, would be having like 2 Bernie Sanders running our country.
Yeah.
And Bernie is at least honest. He wants the government to run everything. He's got a populist approach. But you think we're in trouble now, that would close the deal. And we've become a country like you've never seen before. So that is where we're at politically. And when it comes to, what do we do? What do we need? Well, it's going to be different. For John, he'll tell you what he needs, but what he's going to need is an unbelievable grassroots ground game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've got the ability, you're in a tight geographic area, don't think that you can't do it because you're down to 40 days. Get a sign in every one of these yards. That's probably as good an investment as you can make, because other than maybe WIBC and Conservative Radio 95, it's going to be hard to pay for it. But you want to do that too.
Agreed. And our service is what people see. And hopefully that will resonate, as you said back there, get your name out. And once you get your name out there, people see what the real deal is and do that. So I want to thank you all for coming. I mean,